So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Indian Express, sorry, the live by Drishti IAS, that is basically for your Indian Express newspaper. And first of all, happy Constitution Day. This is 26th of November. So basically this is 75th Constitution Day. We know that we have adopted our Constitution on 26th November 1949. So let's start our discussion today. So here we will be talking about the Indian Express newspaper, and this is the point of discussions for us today. That is, we will be talking about 75th Constitution Day, and on this particular day there was this judgment which has come up from the side of the Supreme Court with respect to the 42nd Constitutional Amendment. Okay, 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. So that has been challenged. So Supreme Court has given their verdict regarding this. So we will be talking about that. After that, we will be moving to the PAN 2.0. When you talk about the PAN number or permanent account number, which is there with respect to the financial transactions, etc. Okay, so government has come up with another idea, and they are including it in the form of, you can say, e-services or the e-governance. They are including it as an element of e-governance, wherein they will be going paperless. Okay, they will be adding QR, etc. So we will be talking about the new form of permanent account number, that is your PAN numbers. Okay, moving further, that is the legal issue in Sambhal. Now there was this issues which are going on in UP with respect to the places of worship. So there was this issue recently, some protest has broke out in this particular area. We will be talking about the legal issue. We will not go into the debate of what is right or wrong. We will be talking about the legal issues attached to that. Okay, so we will be talking about that. Then we will be talking about the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture, and the fact of the day and the constitutional amendments. Okay, so let's start with our discussion. Here you can see the front page of the newspaper, that is basically giving you an idea that what is going on in the country or outside. Right now, you know that elections are there in Maharashtra and Jharkhand, so that is somehow you will be seeing more of the political news, so that is not much important for us. Okay, if you are not interested in the politics, if you are, then you can follow them. Okay, then coming to this article, cabinet clears PAN 2.0 card to feature QR code. Now this we will be talking about. We will not go into details, but we will try to understand what changes will be there. Okay, because that can be important for us. Now moving further, we will be talking about the you can say practice question. Which of the following substance is not regulated under the Montreal Protocol? That is chlorofluorocarbons, hydrofluorocarbons, halon and methyl bromide. Now when we are talking about the Montreal Protocol, okay, so this is one among the most successful you can say environment treaty which we can have right now. So this Montreal Protocol, that is to reduce the chlorofluorocarbons and the halogens and the methyl bromide. This is not about the hydrofluorocarbon. After that, there was this other amendment which has Kigali amendment, etc., which has came further. Then that is a different story. But right now, when we talk about the Montreal Protocol, this was only for the chlorofluorocarbons, halogens and the methyl bromide. Okay, so let's move further. Before moving further into discussion, I would like to tell you that we are having our classes which used to be running conducted in Mukherjee Nagar. Now these classes will be conducted in Noida. Yes, now Noida will become the new UPSC hub. So if you want to take admissions, so you can take admission from the 9th December and 12th December. I will be telling you the schedule. When we are talking about the address will be C171/2 block A, sector 15, Noida. Nearest metro station is sector 15, Noida sector 15 metro station. And if you have any kind of query or doubt, you can call on this number, that is 9311406440. Okay, so you can call on this number for any kind of inquiry, or you can click on the link which is given in the description to get a call back from our site. Okay, now talking about the classes, so as I told you that from 9th December Hindi mediums classes will be starting for GS foundation course at 11:30 AM. For English medium, 12th December is the date, and the time is 6 PM in the evening. Now let's move further, and before that, if you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe it. Now starting with the first thing, that is facts of the day. You know that we daily discuss a fact so that we can focus on the prelims preparation, and these facts can be used in your mains answer writing as well. Right now we will be talking about the National Dolphin Research Center, NDRC. Now this center is there in Patna on the banks of Ganga river, so that it will be easy for us to observe the dolphins over there. When we talk about the Gangetic dolphins, these are found in the Ganga river, Brahmaputra river, okay, or their tributaries. When we talk about the country wise you can say habitat area, we will be seeing that they are found in India, Nepal as well as in Bangladesh. Okay, so these are, you can say, about the Gangetic dolphin and their habitat. Now, National Dolphin Research Center is in Patna has faced inactivity for months after its inauguration, underscoring significant challenge in and initiative in conserving the Gangetic dolphin. Now, when we are talking about the establishment of this particular center, so it is already there, okay, but the thing is it is inactive, it is not active yet, and that is one cause of concern for us, because if you want to you can say conserve this particular species, which is, you can say, a keystone species, you can say, in that particular it is an indicative species of that particular reverse pollution, etc. Okay, if there is a slight change in the temperature or the BOD, etc., that will be shown by this particular species, that is Gangetic river dolphin. Now, despite its establishment, the center remains non-operational due to the lack of necessary equipment and the skilled person. NDRC was inaugurated in 2024, dedicated to research and conserving the Gangetic river dolphin. It is located strategically near the Ganga river and aims to facilitate studies on the dolphin behavior, habitat and the conservation threats. Now, this is about the research center. Now, we will be seeing something about the dolphins. Now, these dolphins are nearly blind. Okay, so they use echolocation. Sorry, I'm not feeling well, okay, because of the cold and all. So anyway, echolocation, what they do is that they use ultrasonic sound waves. Now, these ultrasonic sound waves they use for the navigation and for the hunting, etc. So that is why we say that they use echolocation as a technique, okay, because they are nearly blind. Second thing is they use this particular sound. While they breathe, they use this sound, that is su-su. So that is why they are also known as the su-su dolphins. Okay. Other than that, these are the dolphins which prefer fresh water. They try to be in the deep waters. So this is something about your Gangetic dolphins. When we talk about the habitat, I have already told you Nepal, India and Bangladesh on the rivers like Brahmaputra and Ganga. Okay. Other than that, when we talk about the protection status, so IUCN status is endangered. Okay, for the Wildlife Protection Act, they are protected under Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Okay, here you can see threats: habitat destruction, pollution, bycatch, climate change and hunting. Bycatch means that when you are putting nets inside the you can say rivers to catch the fishes, and in that bycatch they can also get you can say trapped inside the nets. Conservation effort, if we talk about one, we have already seen that there is this center, research center, which was there in Patna. So that is National Dolphin Research Center, Patna. It was actually the idea was mooted in 2021, inaugurated in 2024, and Project Dolphin is there on the lines of Project Tiger that started in 2021. Other than that, there are two dedicated sanctuary which has been announced. One is there in Vikramshila Dolphin Sanctuary, that is in Bhagalpur, Bihar. Okay. So that is one which is operational. Second is basically your Hastinapur Sanctuary, which is there in UP, which is yet proposed. Okay, it is not started yet. So name you can remember Hastinapur and Vikramshila. Okay, so this is about your Gangetic dolphins. We have talked about this particular fact. They have been asked in the UPSC examination. They can be asked again. Okay, now let's move further and concentrate on the 87th Amendment Act 2003. Now, it has provided for the readjustment and the rationalization of the territorial constituency in the state on the basis of the 2001 census, okay, and not 1991. Earlier, when we have talked about the previous amendments, we have seen that when we were talking about the delimitation, we have seen that they have put the readjustment of the constituency on the basis of 1991 census. That has been changed to 2001 census. Okay, so recent change which has happened with respect to the readjustment of the territorial constituencies, that is based on the 2001 census. Okay, you can remember that because last time they have asked a question about the delimitations, how many time it has happened in India. There are high chances that they can ask about such things in the future examination. When we talk about the patterns of the UPSC, most of the time you will be seeing what they have asked in the PYQs, they will be extending that area in the further examinations as well. Okay, so there are high chances that they can ask you something about the delimitation in the next exam as well. Now moving further, the 89th Amendment Act 2003 bifurcated the erstwhile combined National Commission for Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribe into two separate constitutional bodies, naming National Commission for Scheduled Caste and National Commission for Scheduled Tribe. Okay, Article 338 and 338A. Okay, I hope that is clear. So these two things are important. This particular amendment is quite important for you. Now we can move further and start with our discussion. Before that, you know that today is 75th Constitution Day. I'm sorry. So as I told you at the start of the session, this is the 75th Constitution Day. So Constitution of India and Preamble. First, we will be talking about the preamble over here, because preamble is the document which is basically giving you the idea about the philosophy of the constitution. When we talk about the origin of the preamble, how it came, so this is based on the objective resolution which has been put forward by the Jawaharlal Nehru in the Constituent Assembly, and after that, that has been converted into preamble, and it was the part, or it was a document which was added into the constitution after the drafting. In the later phases, it has been added. So here you can see, we the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure all its citizens justice, social, economic, political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of the opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and the integrity of the nation. In our constitution, Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give to ourselves this constitution. Now here, out of from this particular text, you can take 2-3 things, or you can say, you can find out that what was the source of the constitution, or you can say source of the authority in the constitution. That was we the people of India. That is one information which is given by the preamble. Second, what is the nature of the constitution? That is given by this particular para over here. The first thing is, they have been giving you the nature of the state or India, that is sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. We know that the words like socialist and secular, they were added later from the 42nd Constitution Amendment Act, which we will be talking about today, because that was challenged, that was 1976, and these words were added with a retrospective effect. Okay, please remember that they were added with the retrospective effect. Second thing is democratic and republic. This is the nature of the state that has been given in the preamble. Second, after that, you will be seeing that this particular para is talking about the, you can say, philosophy. What kind of constitution it will be? So this will be a constitution which will give you justice, social, economic and political, which will give you liberty of thought, expression, faith, belief and worship, equality of status and opportunity. Okay, after that, fraternity. And when we talk about this word here, integrity, that was also added through the 42nd Constitution Amendment Act. Other than that, they tell you about the date on which it was enacted, that is basically 26th November 1949. That is basically your Constitution Day, 26th of November. Okay, so that is about the preamble, which we can gather from the preamble. Now moving further, here we can talk about this article which has been there in the today's Indian Express newspaper. Yes, Gayatri, the objective resolutions were by Jawaharlal Nehru. Okay. Yes, it is also called as the identity card of the constitution, rightly said so. Now here you can say, Supreme Court upholds the inclusion of socialist, secular in the constitution preamble. Basically 42nd Constitution Amendment Act, as I told you, there were 3 words which has been added. One was socialist, second was secular, and third was the integrity word which was added. Okay, unity and integrity. So integrity word was added later. Now the question has been raised on these 2 words over here, and they have said that these words were particularly, you can say, imposed by the government of that particular time, or you can say to impose a particular kind of economic ideology. Okay, they are basically talking about the socialism over here during the period of emergency that amendment has been brought. So that is why it has been challenged, and they have said that why they have gone for the retrospective effect. Now Supreme Court in their judgment has said that these words has been actually adopted by the people. Okay, people has actually accepted them over the time. Here let's see, the Supreme Court on Monday dismissed the petition challenging the constitution validity of the 42nd Amendment, by which the words secular and the socialist were added to the preamble of the constitution during the emergency days in 1976. These terms have achieved widespread acceptance, with their meaning understood by we the people of India without any semblance of doubt. So the thing is, here when we are talking about the we the people of India, these are the person who has accepted these words. They understood that yes, we are secular, we are socialist, and they have understood the meaning of these words. The meaning of these words are not as per the, you can say, Western philosophies, but they have adopted these meanings as per our own needs. Okay, so when we talk about the secularism, so India's secularism is different from the Western secularism. When we talk about the Western secularism, there you will not find any place of religion in the politics, but in India's political system we have a place for religion. We are basically saying that yes, state can come and interfere with the, you can say, religion at the time when religion is crossing path with the constitution. Okay, as far as you are following the constitution, well and good, but if you are against the constitution, then you can come, or if you are against the fundamental right, then state can come and intervene. Okay, so for that there are checks and balances which are there. Technically speaking, state will not favor a religion, but they can actually come and interfere when it is needed. Okay, so that kind of secularism we are following. Other than that, court has said that the word secularism, which socialism, which we are saying that was a particular kind of ideology which has been adopted. No, it was not like that. We did not adopt an ideology, but we have actually given this idea that India has to be a welfare state. That means that you will be thinking about the welfare of the people. Okay, so these were the thought behind these amendments which has been made. Other than that, they have also said that these particular amendments has been discussed during the time of the 45th Constitution Amendment Bill. When we are talking about this 45th Constitution Amendment Bill, which was discussed in the Parliament, so basically you are saying that in the Parliament these amendments has already been discussed. That means that Parliament has discussed them and Parliament has made them valid. This particular 44th Constitution Amendment Bill was later, renumbered as 44th Constitution Amendment Act. Okay, that came in 1978. Now let's move further. Parliament's power under Article 368. One, you can say, question was also raised, that was that why that you have gone for the retrospective effect. So court has said that Parliament has power under Article 368 to amend the Constitution, any part of the Constitution, including the preamble. Preamble is part and parcel of the Constitution, so you can amend it. Now it does not matter because the retrospective effect or not, because all the constitutional amendments have the retrospective effect. Okay, so that is there. Parliament's power under Article 368 to amend the Constitution also extend to the preamble and reject the argument that the words could not have been added retrospectively in 1976 to the original preamble, which has cut-off date, that is November 26, 1949. Okay, which we have already seen. The fact that the Constitution was adopted on 26 November 1949 does not make any difference. The date of adoption will not curtail or restrict the power under Article 368 to the Parliament. So basically they are saying that if there is a cut-off date, that means that does not mean that you cannot go for any kind of change in the Constitution. Okay, because that power has been given in the Article 368 to amend the Constitution or the procedure for amendment of the Constitution to the Parliament. Then moving further, the retrospectivity argument, if accepted, would equally apply to all the amendments which were made till now. So that means that all the amendment has to go through a scrutiny again. That cannot be done. Moving further, while it is true that the Constituent Assembly had not agreed to include these words socialist and the secular, obviously the original preamble, if you see, there were words like socialist and the secular was not there in the preamble. But the thing is, our constitutional framework, or you can say makers, they have made sure that our constitution is a legal and the living document, living and dynamic document. That means that it can be changed over time with respect to the demand of the time. Okay, so if you are giving a power to change the constitution, that implies that you want that with the time you can change your constitution as well. Okay, so that is why the, you can say, addition of the word like socialist and the secular is not wrong. Over time, India has developed its own interpretation of secularism, wherein the state neither support any religion or not penalize the profession and the practice of any faith. That means you will not, you can say, support, or you can say you can not prefer a particular religion. Okay, that is why India as a state do not have its own religion. Like Pakistan is an Islamic country. We do not say that we are a Hindu country or Islamic country. We say that we are secular country. We treat all the religion equally. So that is what has been given over there. The principle are enshrined in the Article 14, 15 and the section of the Constitution. After that, the word that is socialism, the context has already been told you that it was not related to any kind of ideology, but it was just an addition to tell you that India is a welfare state. Okay. Now, argument that amendment was made during the emergency imposed by the Indira Gandhi government was previously deliberated in the Parliament in 45th Amendment Bill 1978, which was renumbered as 44th Constitution Amendment Act 1948. So we have talked about all these things. Okay. Now moving further, let's talk about the next article that is related to your PAN card. Okay. Cabinet clears PAN 2.0 card to feature QR code upgrade of the existing permanent account number PAN with an additional feature of QR on the cards. A proposal to make PAN a common identifier for the businesses. What is the common identifier? Right now, if you see, if you have to go for the any kind of financial transaction, you will be using the PAN card. Okay, if you are going into the bank and if you are going for more than 4999 rupees amount deposition, they will ask you that you have to mention the PAN card number as well. Okay, now if you have to go for the GST, if you are having a business, then you will have a GST number, GSTN. Okay, so basically for different things there are different identifiers which are there. Now it is a common identifier that with one PAN number you will have all your businesses, transactions, etc. attached to that. So with, if you are going for the income tax filing, or if you are going for the GST you can say income returns filing, etc., or you can say if you are paying some kind of GST tax, etc., at that point of time you don't have to go for different numbers, only one PAN number will be sufficing. Okay, so that is the common identifier for the businesses. So that has been talked in this article. Now they are using QR and they are saying that they will be providing for the online services. Those people who are having the existing old regime PAN cards, that will be changed free of cost, that will be upgraded free of cost. All these things has been mentioned over here. The PAN 2.0 project will enable technology driven transformation of the taxpayer registration services with an aim to improve the ease of access of services delivery. Okay, so basically they are trying to make the process easy. Instead of 3-4 different number, you have to remember only one number, that is your PAN card number. Okay, moving further, single source of truth and data consistency. There will be only single source, as I told you, only single number will be there. Considering that there will be a consistency in the data, all the transaction will be recorded with one number. Okay, moving further, security and the optimization of the infrastructure to greater agility, and QR code will be there because we are making it digital. Demands by businesses to not have different identification number, and that is why they have come up with the common business identifier. Okay, so business houses were saying that there is a difficulty when you are using different GST and GST numbers or different kind of identifiers, so you have to come up with the common one. So government has taken into cognizance that particular issue and they have actually make a common business identifier. It will be completely paperless, online, and lot of focus will be on the grievance redressal system. So that is there. It is part of your e-governance project for re-engineering the business processes for taxpayer registration services through the transformation of the PAN or TAN services. Okay, so basically here we are trying to go for the ease of the business. We are trying to make sure that the single number can be used for all the business identifiers. Other than that, we are going paperless. We are using technology in that. Okay, all these things has been given in the PAN 2.0. These are the features which has been discussed over here. Common business identifier, as I told you, what is that? Then moving further, digital transformation, we are going paperless, etc. Then free upgrade for all those people who are existing having the you can say PAN which is based on the older regime, that will be given you can say free of cost upgrade. Then unified portal, there will be a single online portal will replace the outdated PAN system, and e-governance initiatives. So these are the features of your PAN 2.0 upgrade. Okay, so that is about this article. Moving further, how scientists developed pills that can replace injections. Okay, when we talk about the injections, most of the time when you talk about the vaccines, when you talk about any kind of if you have to send a macromolecular drug, okay, when you have a disease like you can say cancer, etc., so in the cancer treatment or any kind of antibody if has to be sent inside your body, or any kind of vaccine has to be sent inside your body, in such cases injections are preferred, because when we talk about the injections, these are basically your macromolecular drugs. Okay, macromolecular means that the size of the molecule is bigger than the normal pharmaceuticals which you are using. Okay, now when we are talking about the macromolecule, that means that when they enter inside the body, if you use them in the form of pill, they won't be very efficient, because when you are using or you are taking it orally, that means that will go into your digestion system, and that will when we talk about the saliva, you know that there are enzymes which are there which will break the molecules into digestible you can say substances. So basically when you are putting inside your mouth, the digestion process starts, okay, with the saliva itself. So these macromolecular drugs will also start the process over there, and because of which efficiency while reading into the while reaching into the bloodstream, that will reduce. That is why we are directly using the injections. Now despite all these things, the injections have some kind of cons as well. Okay, what kind of cons they have? One thing is there can be infection. Second is there can be, you can say, discomfort. Okay, so these things are there because of the infection, fear of infection, or the discomforts, or if the proper precautions are not being taken, so there can be infections, and that is why the, you can say, doctors or the medicinal practitioners, they want to go for the pills. Scientists also want to go for the pills, and that is why they have come up with this new idea, wherein they have taken the inspiration from the, when we talk about these cephalopods. Cephalopods, these are your organisms which are there in the oceans, etc. You must have heard about the octopus. Okay, so such organisms are basically your cephalopods. They have taken inspiration from that because these are using a jet propulsion. Let's say this is your octopus. So when he is moving in this particular direction, he will propel a jet in this direction, so that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. With this propulsion, he will move forward. So that kind of theory they have decided, and they will be using in the you can say drugs, which are, you can take these drugs orally, but they will, since they are used with the jet propulsions, they will directly move at a faster pace, and they will reach to the targeted area, so that the, as I told you, that efficiency will increase over here. So let's see what is happening. So a team of researchers has developed ingestible capsules, release a burst of drugs directly inside the stomach or other parts of the digestive systems. They are not starting to digest inside your mouth as the oral pills do. Okay, so that is there. That is an alternative method to deliver drugs such as insulins, which are typically used with the you can say injections. Okay, inspiration has been taken from the cephalopods like squid, cuttlefish use jet propulsion mechanism to move underwater and shoot ink. Okay, so that is there. Now here you can see cephalopods inspired jetting devices for gastrointestinal drug delivery system. That is what we are discussing right now. Now here, why these capsules are significant. Okay, why I have already told you that injections are efficient way when we are talking about the macromolecular drugs, but there are some kind of cons which are attached to it. Injections are used to administer hormones, vaccines, antibodies, cancer treatment, etc., usually made of the larger biological molecules. That is why we are calling it macromolecular drugs. Once swallowed, large molecules are often quickly destroyed by the digestive enzymes or the liver, limiting the efficacy and increasing the likelihood of the potential side effects elsewhere. Okay, and because of which we are trying to go for the, you can say, oral pills. Here injection can lead to the infection. We are trying to go for the you can say your injections, because oral pills can start the digestive process earlier, and that is why they are less effective. Injection can lead to the infection, skin irritations, and other side effects are there. Discomfort to the patient can be there, and that is why for the delivery of the micromolecular drug we are preferring the oral pills. Okay, high bioavailability. Bioavailability means that a drug's capacity to be absorbed and used by the body. Okay, bioavailability means that for the time being it will be inside your body before getting absorbed. Now when we are talking about the injection, it has very less bioavailability. It will go inside the you can say it will have a high bioavailability. It will go inside and it will directly go to the targeted area. Now when we are talking about the pills, etc., that will start the you can say process of that will be destroyed in the process of the digestion. Okay, so it will have high bioavailability. How were the capsule developed over here? So as I told you, they will be taking inspiration from the cephalopods. These cephalopods, as I told you, they use the jet propulsion. Similarly, in these capsules, they will be using a capsule. In this capsule, they will be using some kind of substances which are giving them a thrust. Okay, and so the speed of delivery which increase, and they will be reaching to the place where they has to. Okay, so these animals can adjust the pressure and the direction of their inkjet. Same idea to be to distribute the drug in the gastrointestinal tracts. By jetting medicines directly into the tissues, they could ensure that the more medication is absorbed before the body breaks it down. Okay, so that is basically your bioavailability. Now it is mimicking the jet action of the squid and the octopi in two ways. First, compress the carbon dioxide or tightly coiled springs. What they are doing is, they are using, if you have a spring, that is a tightly coiled spring, but when it is released, that will convert like this, okay. But if you put something over here and you are compressing this spring and using some kind of drug over here, and when you are releasing it, that will give a thrust to this particular molecule, okay. So similarly, they will be using that inside the capsule. There will be a trigger, okay, carbohydrate trigger will be there when it is inside your intestinal tracts, because of the enzyme action. When that trigger is active, then you can say the coating will go away, and this spring or you can say molecular spring which is there, that will release, and this particular drug which is there on the spring, that will get inside the you can say intestinal tracts, okay. So that is the idea which they are using. You don't have to go into the mechanism over here, just know that these springs are made of you can say compressed carbon dioxide or the tightly coiled spring they can be using. Other than that, when we are talking about the trigger will be used made of carbohydrates, okay. So that is the thing which has been used by these molecules. So just what you have to remember over is that, okay, one more time I'll tell you one thing, that when we are talking about the octopus etc., you must have seen that when they are inside the water, this, let's say this is the octopus, if it has to move forward, they will you can say release some substance with the speed from the you can say in the back side of their body. So that ink jet, or you can say that ink which has been released by this octopus etc., with such a force that they will because of the third law of Newton, that every action has an equal and opposite reaction, because of this force which is there, they will start to propel inside in the front side. So what will happen is that now we are using a biomolecular spring which is compressed over here. There is the drug which is kept over here. Once the trigger is there and this spring is released, when the spring is released with the force, this drug will shoot, okay, and that it will go inside the targeted place where we have to send it, okay. The idea is that we have to deliver the drug in a very speedy manner, so that it does not break down because of the digestive systems, okay, and that is why we are using these springs or compressed carbon dioxide, okay. So that is the idea behind this. Other than that, there are two terms which is there, that is macromolecular drug. That means that the size of the molecule is larger than the normal drug or oral drugs which we are taking, okay. Other thing is bioavailability. These are the two terms which are important from this article. Nothing is you have to remember nothing else, just these two terms. That high when we are talking about the bioavailability, that is the drug's ability to be absorbed and used by the body, okay, for what time it is inside the body before getting absorbed. That is basically your bioavailability, okay. So that is about this article. Nothing else you have to remember. Just know that there is a difference between the injections and pills. Pills start to get trapped in the digestive system and they will destroy faster, and injection are a faster method of delivery, okay. These are slow method of delivery, okay. So that is the difference which is there, okay. I hope that is clear. Now we can move further. Legal issue in Sambhal. Sambhal, there was this mosque, okay, Jama Masjid is there, and there was this petition which has been filed which is saying that masjid was actually demolished during the time of Babur, and then there was this temple and that was demolished by Babur, and then this masjid was raised over there, okay. So this is the similar case which was seen in the, you can say, Eidgah Masjid, or when we are talking about the Babri Masjid case. So this is the same case like that. We will not go into details of these things, but when this case come into a district court, the district court or the judge has actually ordered to conduct a survey by the local authorities, and because of which protest has started in that area. Let's see, a petition was filed in Sambhal alleging that the Jama Masjid was built in 1526 by Babur after demolishing a Hindu temple. On November 19th, a district judge in the Sambhal allowed a site survey by local authorities on November 29 after accepting the prima facie evidence of the claim, similar to the ongoing disputes in Gyanvapi in Varanasi and Sahi Eidgah in Mathura, okay. Then protest followed the court decision, and reflecting communal sensitivity, there was this was there. Now we will be seeing that what is the legal issue over here. Now when we talk about the Places of Worship Act, this is about the Places of Worship Act. This particular act put a bar that you cannot change the nature of a place of worship, okay. You cannot convert the place of worship into from one religion to another religion after 15th of August. Okay, that is when we are talking about the 15th of August 1947, when we got the independence. See, the act prohibits the conversion of any place of worship into a place of worship of different religion denominations. So basically, they are saying that from one religion to another, you cannot convert it. Okay, it maintains the status quo as it was on date, that is 15th of August 1947, meaning that the religious identity of a site cannot be altered how it was on that particular date. There are certain specific you can say exceptions which are there, because you must have seen the Babri Masjid case. Babri Masjid Ram Janmabhoomi dispute was there, where we have seen a change in the nature which was judgment was given by the Supreme Court. The law does not apply to the Babri Masjid Ram Janmabhoomi dispute, which was explicitly exempted from this preview of as it was already under the litigation when the act was passed. So it was already under the litigation, it was a historical dispute, and that is why it was excluded from this particular place of worship act. Now, what is when we are talking about challenges to the case like Sambhal and Gyanvapi, petitioners often argue that the cases fall outside the scope of the act, citing historical alteration and the destruction of the temples before 1947. Now, basically, why this particular case is in front of the court, and why court is taking cognizance of that, why court is taking cognizance of Eidgah Shahi Masjid, why it is taking cognizance of the Gyanvapi, etc. Because they are saying that all these issues are historical in nature. This alteration has happened in the histories, and that is why they have been entertained as of now. Okay. Now, if we talk about the place of worship act, just know that this is basically an act which was to make sure there is no communal disharmony after the independence with respect to the religious side, and that is why they have put a cap, or they have put a status quo, that we will not change the nature of any religious site. Okay, so that was the thing because of which we have come up with the place of worship act. Okay, and the legal issue in this particular, you can say, case is with respect to the places of worship act, nothing else. Now, Supreme Court has to decide that whether we have to entertain such cases or not, so that we will be seeing that what happens to the Gyanvapi and the you can say Shahi Eidgah cases. Okay, now moving further, thousands of Rohingya fight alongside Myanmar Janta that once persecuted them to reclaim their homeland. Now, when we are talking about the issue of the Rohingyas and the issue which is going inside the, or you can say the civil war which is going inside the Myanmar. Okay, considering that these people who were basically persecuted from the areas of Arakan, and they have went to the Cox's Bazar in Bangladesh. Okay, so now they are going back to the Myanmar. They are supporting the military, you can say, Janta over there, Myanmar Janta over there, and they are saying that we have to reclaim our, you can say, land over there. World's largest refugee settlement in the southern Bangladesh, and they crossed the border into Myanmar on the small boat. And the settlement is basically Cox's Bazar. Okay, that is there in Bangladesh. We need to fight to take our lands back. Okay. Now, the Rohingya, mainly Muslim group, that is world's largest stateless population, started fleeing in droves to Bangladesh in 2016 to escape genocide by the Buddhist majority of the Myanmar military. A long-running rebellion in Myanmar has gained ground since the military staged a coup in 2021. Okay, since 2021, there was this you can say civil war which is going on inside the Myanmar. But when we are talking about the Rohingyas, these are the, you can say, largest stateless population which is there, or you can say refugees which are there, which were there from Arakan state of Myanmar. They were actually persecuted in 2016, and they went to Bangladesh, and they stayed there for a while, and now they are going back inside their own country. Okay, so that is something which I have to give a reference. Just know that Rohingyas issue is with respect to Myanmar, and they are right now settled in Bangladesh, Cox's Bazar. Moving further, Iran Supreme Leader calls for the death sentence to the Israeli leaders. You must have seen that the International Criminal Court has said that there will be an arrest warrant against the you can say Benjamin Netanyahu and his former defense chief. Okay, the Iranian leader, Supreme Leader, that is Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, he has said that the arrest warrant is very in place of arrest warrant there should be a death penalty, which has been asked by him over here. Okay. Why there is the arrest warrant, we have already discussed in the previous lecture. We have seen that because of the war crimes, etc., these kind of you can say arrest warrant has been issued by the International Criminal Court. Okay, and this arrest warrant has also been issued against a Hamas leader as well. Okay, now moving further, For your own reads, there is this article, significance of European solar mission, which ISRO will launch. You can go through this particular article. They are talking about the Proba 3. Okay, this is a European solar mission, and India ISRO is helping in that particular thing. Okay, so Proba 3 they are talking about. So for the prelims point of view, just remember that Proba 3 is with respect to the European solar mission. Okay, and ISRO has a contribution in that. So with that, we will be putting a hold on our discussion from today's point of view. There was this passing reference I would like to give you with respect to the Atal Innovation Mission. Recently, Cabinet has allocated nearly 2,750 crores. That is not important. What is important is what is Atal Innovation Mission. So you have to go and read about that. Moving further, here you can see there is this center approves a new scheme for the research journals on one platform. So you can go through this, and this natural farming mission. You can read about this as well. Okay, just go on Google, type these words, take 100 words from that, read that, that would suffice. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now in the end, we have a practice question for you, that is basically the 42nd amendment added which word to the preamble of the Indian Constitution? Sovereign, secular, democratic. Second is socialist, secular, integrity. Third is unity, integrity, socialist, and democratic, socialist, unity. Okay, so which were the words which has been added through the 42nd Constitution Amendment Act? We have already discussed that. So you can attempt this question and answer to me in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave. If you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe it. Have a nice day. Thank you.